Hello, everyone. It's Mark here again. I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. The best bit of the job for me is meeting our full members and having the chance to introduce them to you. So I'm delighted that Elena has joined me today. We're going to have a look at some of Elena's work and we're going to play a game. I'm going to create Elena's fantasy cultural year from the answers to around 10 questions. I should point out that she's had no warning of this, which is going to be
No. Out of the blue, definitely.
Elena, thank you very much for joining me today.
You're welcome. I'm delighted to.
I'm looking forward to it. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the work that you do? I know you're in Zurich, in Switzerland,
Yes.
and we've met before, and you've shown me some of the work that you're focusing on at the moment, and it's wonderful. I'm loving it. So while you introduce yourself to the gang, I'll open up your website so that you can talk through some of the recent work, if that's okay. So
yes, sure. So hello everyone. I'm delighted to be here and delighted to join this wonderful community. What I can tell you about myself is I've been an artist for quite some time. I started off at the age of 12, then I enrolled in various art schools, professional art schools that actually get you into universities to get a degree. I graduated finally in the US from Duke Ellington School of the Arts and Corcoran School of Art and Design. And well, in various ways, I incorporated art into my life over the years. I moved to Switzerland in 2010 and decided to become a full-time artist, which was pretty successful. I got contracts with galleries in Miami, in Manhattan. So mainly, the focus was mainly in the US. Last June, I founded a new project that is called ArtInterior. And it is actually a new take on the interior art. What drove me to that is that I actually travel quite often. And I always preferred to stay in small boutique hotels, that have that special flair, of individuality, exclusivity, and etc. But most of them having wonderful interiors and locations, they lack something in art. For example, the last hotel I stayed in, it was Leonardo Boutique Hotel in Amsterdam, just a stone throw from Rijksmuseum. And they have wooden panels on the walls, they have wooden floors, even wooden ceilings. Beautiful, beautiful setting. And there you have a print of a pretty known painting in huge proportions. I mean, it was at least 2 meters by 4 meters of a boat with flowers, but it was so poorly done. It looked like a plastic cloth you put over a garden table.
Oh dear.
And yes, and it demolished all the enchantment of the interior just with the turn of a head. Seeing that painting, it was disastrous. Besides, I have a lot of expat friends, and if you're an expat and you're renting a place, and you may be staying in the country 10 years or maybe 2 years, and you never know, you will probably not invest into very expensive art. You won't spend 10 or 20 or 50,000 euros on a painting. So they either settle for prints, posters, or something, that just matches the color scheme of the room. And as you go from one apartment to apartment, they all start to seem the same after you visited 10. So I wanted, first of all, to show off that I can actually draw. If you give me a pencil, I would draw an apple. it would look like an apple, but in black and white. So I wanted to a little bit show off that I can actually paint. And second of all, I wanted to create something that would elevate the space, would be fun, unique, but at the same time, much more affordable. So my paintings for the art interior project, they actually start from like 300 francs.
Okay.
And yes.
This is this is music to my ears, because I have been in those rooms. I have seen that poorly presented art. So it's wonderful, because there is something quite special about realizing that you're in a space where the art is unique. And I think I'm one of those people who loves to think that I've got something in my home that is unique and nobody else has got it. It's not been bought from a poster shop somewhere. So
Exactly.
let's have a look at some of the work, shall we? Because I know more recently, and as I put on your website here, this year the focus shifts towards securing interior art contracts for hotels and restaurants, aiming to elevate their spaces into curated artistic experiences, which I think is fantastic, because it reflects, when somebody realizes that there's some great art and it's original, their perception of the value of that stay in that hotel or in that apartment is elevated, as you say. So I can't wait to see the fashion edits, because I've seen some of your sports edits. So fashion edits are coming soon, which is great. So
they probably will be launched in September or early October, because I'm talking about I'm in negotiations with the Luxembourg Fashion Week, and probably I will be presenting the collection there.
excellent. And this is a hint, at what to expect, is it?
Yes, well, probably yes. I will be if I settle this, if we close this contract, I amongst others, I will be speaking with the designers to let me a sneak peek into
Right.
their new collections, and probably there will be one painting dedicated to one designer.
That's perfect.
Yes,
Great
and
idea.
the launch, as I said, here on the screen, you can see the Lemon Tree collection, which was the first collection that I launched for the Art Interior project last June. And the uniqueness is that I use oil and acrylic paint. Then I use on the big lemon there and on the blinking paintings, you probably can see it much better.
Yeah.
What I do is I do a 3D contour, which I top with gold or silver or bronze leaf. Sometimes it is also the background that is silver or gold leaf. And then I top everything with epoxy. So these, in a way, these paintings are sustainable because there are no fumes. You know, like an oil painting, it can only be covered with lac after a year. It is better to cover it after a year. You know, it dried, because this way it preserves much longer.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and even the paint is already dry and everything, but if you stay close enough to it, you can still smell the paint.
Yes.
With these paintings, nothing happens to it because epoxy is actually used as a sustainable how do you say
Yeah.
alternative for furniture making.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
instead of wood, instead of metal, you can use epoxy. It's hard rock when it dries. So I present this material into artwork as well. And also each piece that I make, I never copy, no matter how, because this project has become so popular. Some pieces never hit the showroom because they're bought as soon as they're being published, like on Instagram, for example.
Right. Well, these are lovely. I love the way that they have such depth and texture.
Yes,
Let's
thank
have a
you.
look. These were, you showed me these last time that we met, and I love these. These are fantastic. So
Yes,
this is the
this is
sports
from my
edit.
the winter sports collection. Yes. And after the sponsors of the Swiss Ladies Open um, saw this collection, they actually asked me. So right now I'm working on a collection for women in golf for the Swiss Ladies Open that will happen late June, from 28th to 29th of June. There will be, this is a yearly tournament in Switzerland for women's golf. So anyone in Zurich, because this golf park is just a 40-minute drive from Zurich. So if you're in Zurich end of June, please come.
Yeah. Do you know what I love about these, especially ones like this, is the implied nature of it, because you're actively avoiding creating some areas because we can fill in the gaps as the viewer.
Exactly.
Which I think is so clever, because it's like negative space in design. It's kind of, that there we go. There's so much movement in this.
Exactly, Mark. Actually, you're right on the spot, because my intention for the sports series was I wanted to emphasize the movement, to show not the stillness, like not the still figure, but I wanted, you to feel the wind, with the swing, or with the run, or with the hit.
Yeah.
And usually it is done with high contrast, but high contrast is always presumed to be black and white. I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to put color into it. And this technique that I created with the 3D and the epoxy, and this actually enables me to do just that.
Yeah.
Even the Martin horn, I mean, you can see it from a totally different perspective. Yes.
They're wonderful. Love them.
Thank you.
Excellent. So if somebody would like to have a look, it's at elenakupreeva.ch. Wherever this interview appears, we'll be making sure that there are links and examples of the work. So they're lovely. I think they're so clever. The background looks like denim. What is what is the canvas? Is it canvas?
Yes, they're all done on high quality canvas. I never, save on canvases, because this is like saving on something very, very, like on a toothpaste. I don't know.
Yeah.
I prefer high quality things.
Yes, and
high
I think
quality life and quite high quality things. Yes.
Yeah.
And since this project was so popular with the private sales, I decided that it is time for it to be transformed into a more commercial. The paintings will still stay unique. And this technique actually enables me to produce. This is not a very artistic word, but business-wise, it catches the meaning. They are pretty fast to produce. So, for example, these sports series, they were over 20 paintings. They were created in under 3 weeks. So the longest time is the sketching. And for example, if it is a commission, the negotiations, like what color scheme the client wants. Because, for example, my latest commission, I was decorating a chateau in Bordeaux province in France for the vineyard. And since, I mean, I love wine, especially red, but I never, looked into grapes. So when I did the sketching and I sent them over, it's like, no, this grape has totally different leaves. And I'm like, oh my God, but on the photo, they look absolutely the same. Now I consider myself almost an expert, because I've studied it really hard. But yes.
That's brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for showing us the work. It's wonderful. I remember you showing me before. I should probably have some in my background, shouldn't I? In my members gallery here, I should put them on.
Yes, yes. I wanted to say that you have wonderful background.
Excellent. Now we're going to have some fun now, if that's okay, for the
Okay.
benefit of our.
Now I'm worried.
No. It's great fun. I'm going to create your fantasy cultural year from the answers to some easy questions.
Okay.
In my experience, it produces laughter, surprises, anecdotes, and detours. So
Okay.
now we're going to start by placing you somewhere in the world. And I'm going to place you outside your favorite building. So, Elena, what is your favorite building?
My favorite building. Uh, mm, I would probably say, I could say I have none, but probably the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Oh, lovely.
Even though the country is not the favorite one, I love France, but uh, country-wise, I would prefer, but the Notre Dame Cathedral, I don't know, it overwhelms.
Yes. I want you to assume then that you know, that lovely piazza outside Notre Dame
Yes.
in Paris with the wonderful, great big
Yes.
circular designs on there. I want you to imagine that just to the side of that is a cafe. And it's
There is, it's called Le Petit Pont.
okay.
It's wonderful.
You're sitting outside there at a table within sight of Notre Dame. It's sunny, it's June, and it's about 6 p.m. Okay. There is a book to your right. Now, that book could be your favorite book. It could be a recent discovery, or it could be a book that has been with you all your life, or a book that changed your life. What book is on your right?
It probably would be my favorite book, which is The Painted Veil.
Ah, okay.
I love the movie as well, but the book is always a favorite, right?
Excellent. Do you recall who's that by? I'm going to check. Um, um, let's see if we can let people know. Somerset Maugham by Somerset Maugham. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Right, The Painted Veil. I'm going to watch that later. I've not seen it before, so
Okay.
shit. Excellent. Now, on your left is a drink. Anything you like. It's sunny. It's past 6 p.m. You can have anything you like. What would you like for a drink?
It's
Sitting
a
there.
Chateau Latour 95.
Chateau Latour 95.
Yes.
Excellent. There we go. You see, we're learning so much about you. Wonderful. It's great. It's sort of conjuring up some lovely a vision of you sitting there. Now, you're feeling quite pleased with yourself
Oh,
because
I always am, yes.
you've just come from a meeting in Notre Dame Cathedral with a wealthy French family foundation who are patrons of the arts. Okay.
Mhm.
And they've been introduced to you, and they've invited you to spend a year in the country of your choice studying art. And it's extremely well paid, first class travel and accommodation all the way for a year. Loved ones can come and visit you during this year. All of your personal admin is sorted out at home.
Mhm.
All they need to know from you, they'd like you to come back and spend half an hour with them, just sharing a few bits of information about what you've learned about the landscape of the arts and culture sector in that country.
Mhm.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Carrara, Italy.
Carrara,
Yes.
Italy.
Mhm.
Carrara.
Because in Carrara is one of the best traditional, and also they are open to innovation art institutes
Fantastic.
in the
Excellent.
world.
Right.
Yeah.
You're on the plane, okay,
Mhm.
from Zurich to Carrara. or the local airport, and you turned left when you got on the aeroplane because you're traveling first class, and your steward brought you a drink, and it's a Chateau Latour 95 on the plane. And he hands you a note from the Family Foundation, who are funding your fantasy trip. They want to study you as well. They've asked you to limit your musical listening to one very specific genre of music for 12 months, to the exclusion of everything else. So if you had to make that decision, what specific genre or type of music would you choose?
Oh, wow. That is, considering that my usual playlist is um, quite diverse. It has Katy Perry, Bach, and Black Sabbath on it, all
That's
mixed up. So this is actually a very trick question, and I would probably even fail to answer.
I love that. I don't think anyone has delighted me quite so much with those three choices. Katy Perry, Johann Sebastian Bach, and Black Sabbath.
Yes.
That's eclectic. That really is.
Thank you.
I think I'll choose for you then. You can have heavy metal. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
One of the first painting that I sold was an watercolor. I was 15 years old, and with that money, I actually bought 2 CDs. I mean, I bought presents for Christmas presents for the family, and 2 CDs for myself, they were just released. Um, this you can guess how old I am. It was the Nirvana Nevermind,
Yep.
and The Fear of the Dark by Maiden.
Wow. Fantastic. I love it. My taste is quite eclectic as well. If I had to choose three artists who were very different, like you just did,
Okay.
mine would be Juan Luis Guerra, who is a salsa singer.
Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful music. You just can't stay still. I'd probably then have Gustav Mahler.
Okay.
If I had to be specific, it would be the last 10 minutes of Mahler, of his Second Symphony. It's like a glimpse of heaven. And the third would be Dream Theater. Have you heard any
Okay.
Dream Theater?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen them live several times. Love
Oh,
it.
okay.
So they record, it's wonderful. It's on YouTube. They've recorded live the whole of Dark Side of the Moon, and
Okay.
arguably they do it better. It's
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's incredible. Anyway, we digress as
I
usual.
also love Ian Anderson, the Jethro Tull.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
With his flute and his leg up.
Yes, absolutely. We've actually been to his solo performance, and it was amazing.
Yeah, wasn't it? There's an album, Tales from the Wood or something like that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
something like that. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, I was a big progressive rock fan with Yes and Genesis and
Okay.
Jethro Tull and Rush. So yes,
Okay.
excellent.
Okay.
Okay, so you're listening to heavy metal all the way, and you arrive in Carrara. Um,
Mhm.
where's the nearest airport to Carrara? Do you know?
Uh,
Is it
Rome, I think.
Rome?
I
Okay.
think the biggest is Rome, and then probably you can fly, local airways.
Yeah. Okay. So you arrive at the local airport, and there's a group of young Italian people there who want to take you under their wing for the first week of your year. They're standing there at the airport with your name on a card. They usher you into a limousine, and it's straight into Carrara. Now you've been given a loft apartment with wonderful views over the city and a balcony for your year, and they've invited you to relax and rest, unpack, and they're going to come back and take you out, and they're going to take you to a dance performance and then out to dinner. Now, while you're in Italy, this fantasy year that I'm giving you has no restrictions. So I want to know if you could watch any dance performance you wanted. It could be with dancers, any dancers, living or dead, any type of dance, any style, and any group. Who would you like to sit and watch dancing?
I would love to see for the second time Raw Are the Roots. The name of the I'm very bad with names, so the name escapes me right at the moment, since this is out of the blue interview.
Mm-hmm.
But I was lucky enough to watch this in Amsterdam when I was visiting the Vermeer exhibition in Rijksmuseum.
Mm.
So that dance, it is a modern dance.
What was the name of it again? Was it Raw?
Raw Are the Roots.
As in R-O...
W, yes.
R-O... R-A-W.
R-A-W, yes.
Are the Roots. R-O-O-T-S.
Yes.
Let's see if we can find it on here to share it with everyone.
And it was, I'm a very big skeptic when it comes to modern dance. Yes. So, I mean, I've been introduced to ballet when I was, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm more on the classical side of things. But with this performance, I literally forgot how to breathe.
Oh, my word.
It was absolutely breathtaking. Yes.
So if you want to have a look at more, here is...
Yes, exactly. This is it.
Excellent. So this is at ndt.nl, at the Netherlands Dance Theatre. So, and there's a show reel there as well. Wonderful, excellent. That's anything that can have that kind of impact is just, it's wonderful. When you experience something like that just stops you in your tracks. It's fantastic. Excellent. Okay, I'm enjoying this trip. I'm coming with you. Now, you've been taken out to dinner afterwards, and you can choose the national cuisine. So what nation's cuisine would you like to have for dinner?
Well, it would be either French or actually Italian, because I always presume the Italian eat pizza and pasta for dinner. But apparently it is not so, because when I was in south of Italy, they said, like, no, we're going to a restaurant, not a pizzeria. And they have fish and raw fish and, seafood. And it is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
So the real Italian cuisine.
Real Italian. That's your treat. That's great. Now, the next day is sport day, and in Italy, and some of us consider some sports to be a performance art, others don't. But they've asked you what sport you'd like to go and watch.
Watch.
Or participate in, if you wish.
Well, if I were to participate, it would be golf.
Nice.
If it were to watch, it would probably be either lawn tennis or basketball.
Nice. Okay. You can play. Do you play golf?
I'm on my journey to nailing it.
Yeah. What is it? Somebody said to have the perfect swing and hit the perfect ball, all you need to do is to keep 300 things in your head.
Exactly. Yes. I prefer when I'm already down on the green. This is like, this is my time.
There is a saying, isn't there? Driving for show, putting for dough.
Okay.
So yeah, I play badly, but I love it. But I'm not particularly skilled at it. But it's amazing what shots people can pull out. I can't make it turn left or turn right or stay low.
Actually, during the Swiss Ladies Open, the sponsors told me that they hired a few coaches. Yes, so people could actually, even like those who want to learn to progress, or those who want to learn or to try for the first time, they can do that.
Yeah, it's excellent. That's a great idea. Now, in Carrara, they have a new art gallery. They don't. I'm just making this up for the purposes of a fantasy year. And it's an immersive experience using XR, virtual reality, projection, and AI to fill in gaps. Now, they have a system where you can put on some VR glasses, virtual reality headsets, and you can step into a painting, any painting you like. When you step into it, it has movement in it. It is three-dimensional. It's 360 degrees. The AI is putting something in the back of what the artist intended in 2 dimensions. So you can literally walk around a painting. Whose work would you like to walk around inside?
Okay, this would be not any mind-opening. This would be very banal, but it will be a Monet.
Monet, okay. So you can walk along that. I think it's Monet.
The Japanese bridge, footbridge, yes.
Yes, you can walk across that in this.
Yes. Okay.
Look around and look down and look up.
Yeah.
There we go. Apparently the technology is there to do it, but I haven't seen it pulled together yet. But I would love to step into St. Mark's Square in a Canaletto and walk around.
Nice choice.
Excellent. Now you can choose one of the following for the next day. Okay. A pop or rock concert, a play, a musical, or an opera.
Okay.
Which would you like?
It would be, I mean, I would prefer to choose all the above.
Yes.
But maybe I would settle with the Chiu-Chiu-san, the Madame Butterfly opera.
Nice. Puccini.
It is the first opera I ever saw at the age of 10 in an opera house, so it has a sentimental meaning to me.
Well, we're going to transport you back in time to that day, so that you can watch Madame Butterfly again for the first time.
Okay, that would be amazing.
What about a film for your friends to enjoy with you?
A film?
Yeah. You've had The Painted Veil as a book, so I don't think we can have the film. So
no. It probably would be I don't know. But I love, for example, nothing comes to mind because I have so many movies that I actually love. It probably would be Easy Virtue. Easy Virtue? Yes.
Okay. Let me just check that on here. There we go, 2008. Yes. Kirsten Scott Thomas. Yeah, Colin Firth. Nice. I haven't seen that. I'm going to have to watch that.
No, you would love it.
Telling the story of Larita, played by Jessica Biel, an American race car driver, newlywed to love of her life, John Whitaker. There we go. I'm going to watch that later. Thank you for that.
Okay. Happy I could help.
I get so much inspiration from our guests. I've got a long list of movies that I need to watch. So excellent. Now, next day, we're nearly there. Okay. Nope. Next day is Hero Day.
Oh, wow.
Hero Day is where I book you a wonderful restaurant for a leisurely 2-hour lunch. And you can invite 2 people, anyone you like, living or dead, and they will come to lunch with you.
Oh, I hate that question. Okay, living or dead. I would probably invite my family, living.
Wonderful. Living family, yeah. Wonderful. I'm going to give you any number of these so that you can reconnect with all of your family.
Thank you.
There we go. Excellent. Yep. Now, tomorrow, is the last day of the first week, and then you'll go off for your year and then fly home. It's one of those days that doesn't come around very often. It's the day off.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you know, from the moment you wake up to the moment you put your head back on the pillow, the day is entirely yours to do whatever you want to in Carrara. All of your personal admin is up to date. All of the jobs you've been working on are up to date. And there's no family commitments. You've got a blank piece of paper. We can provide you with guides, helicopters, planes, limousines, anything you like. We can close museums for you. We can do we can do the full sort of Beckham treatment.
Okay.
What do you want to do in Carrara for the day in those circumstances?
I would want to go to the sea in the morning, have breakfast on a beach. At that time, I would prefer bubbles to Chateau Latour.
That's allowable.
Yes. Then I would probably visit MoMA museum. Then I would have brunch with my friends in London. Then I would visit the Oxford Library.
Nice.
Choose a book for flying. Yes. I would spend the afternoon sketching in James Park. I would go for dinner to Kempinski in Amsterdam. And afterwards, I would go to a small club to listen to jazz.
What a wonderful day. That's the best description of the perfect day off I've had since I've been doing these. That's wonderful. I love that. That's probably costing about 200,000 euros, but hey, you know.
I think it's probably much more because you do need a stellar plane, you know, to fit everything on the and
Yes,
those come pretty expensive. So
they do.
Yeah.
There we go. So you're on your way home, I'm afraid, after your year back to from Carrara back to Zurich, and a note is handed to you on the plane again, thanking you for the work that you've done. You've got an offer of a television interview. You've got a book contract to talk about your year, and at the bottom of the note it says the musical restriction has now been lifted, so you can listen for the first time to something other than heavy metal. Okay. What's the first piece of music you'd want to listen to that you haven't heard for 12 months that is not heavy metal?
Oh, it would probably be an instrumental. And it probably would be I don't know. It would be something from a classical music piece.
Okay, that you can have. We'll give you a choice. There we go. Excellent. This has been great, Elena. Thank you so much for doing this. It's been a real eye-opener. We had laughs, we had detours, we had anecdotes, and we had surprises. So thank you so much. There'll be links to you and the work that you're doing wherever this appears, and it'll be on our YouTube channel, and we'll write a profile about you for the website. So thanks again for being one of our full members. We're member funded, so it's very much appreciated. And you must send me some work so I can put it on my back wall here.
Yes, sure.
Don't rush off, but for the purposes of our guests and viewers, thank you so much for doing this. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, absolutely, I did. Yeah.